As Lehman says, everything will be tokenized. We've seen art, securities, sports, and celebrity NFTs. Our guest, Eric Neal, the founder of Third Act, is bringing tokenization to the theater. Thanks for coming on, Eric.
Thanks so much for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about Third Act?
Yeah, absolutely. Third Act is theater's first NFT marketplace. We're a social economy where fans and producers and creators connect to collect theater's most memorable moments.
Awesome. That's great. So what are some of the first things that you guys have tokenized?
Some of the first ones are, there's a mixture here. We have some proper theater shows that have been on stage. We've tokenized the likeness of specific actors separate from specific productions, so actors in Broadway and theater, as well as a Broadway talk show as well. So there's kind of a diverse offering of collections right now, but all within the realm of theater, whether it be an actor or the show in general.
I gotcha. So what are some of those productions and actors that you've tokenized or worked with?
Yeah, we started with the collection from Herding Cats, which was a production that ran live in the Soho Theater in the West End in the summer of 2021. This was the first instance of the industry ever making theater NFTs as well. So we're really proud of that. And working with O. Henry Productions, we were able to make some amazing NFTs that were commemorative to the show. So a mixture of attendee NFTs, being able to issue that to ticket buyers, as well as ones that are more straight up digital collectibles and digital merchandise. So from the show art, we made some original NFTs that were inspired by themes of the show. From there, we moved on to work with Brian Stokes Mitchell, chairman of the Actors Equity Fund, and is really, I think New York Times calls him the last leading man on Broadway. He's just a really impressive kind of fixture of the industry, contributes so much to Broadway theater in general. You might have caught him in a cameo in Tick, Tick, Boom recently.
Okay.
And he really is kind of like a father of the industry, so well connected and respected. And we made some assets, some NFTs in his likeness as well. So that's the first instance of an actor going from stage to screen to NFT. Those were created internally right through our Third Act studio. We have resources to be able to produce the creative assets themselves, as well as we are the marketplace that sells them as well. And then we also created some NFTs in the image or the likeness of Crossovers Live, which is a Broadway talk show that Brian hosted as well. And we're proud to be creating NFTs in that theme as well.
Very cool. Very cool. So what made you choose Hedera?
Oh, I mean, you have to just do maybe even just 10, 15 minutes of research, not a lot. And you find that not all chains and networks are created equal. So I think there's a lot of the media hype today is around other chains, earlier ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and that's great for attention on the technology, but very quickly realize the ecological impact of those chains. That was number one. NFTs and crypto, there's a lot of upside with it in terms of like financially, people can, make a good amount of money off them. You can make amazing art with them. There's a lot of utility that comes with it, but I just don't think it ever should be at the sake of the environment with some of the costs that come with these other chains. Just wasn't worth it, just didn't add up. So the environment was number one. Number two was the fees associated with it. The gas fees on these other networks are crazy. And looking at our price points as well, it didn't make sense to have to pay almost double the price of the NFTs with the cost of the fees that other chains were showing. So, I mean, over half of the NFTs sold last year were under $200. A lot of people don't talk about that.
Sure.
We hear and see the sensationalized headlines of those one-off unicorn assets being sold for millions plus, but most of the transactions are under $200. So when the fees are $30, $50, $100, it just doesn't make sense. The economy of that doesn't make sense. So Hedera having ultra low minting fees was another big reason why we picked them. And they're also just a pleasure to work with. I don't know if you've connected with them directly, but I've been in meetings with them. They're just really decent human beings and nice people to work with. So that's important as well.
Yeah. So you're working with the HBAR Foundation, right? How's that process been?
It's good. We started working with them before the foundation was even set up. When it was just Hedera, we were connected in with the team really early on, and it's been really, really great. We've had direct access to developers and engineering support. We have our own engineering team, but because this space and this skill set is so new, you really need that expertise or that line in with the core team. For the core technology that Hedera has, and they've been great. You know, we have regular catch-ups and updates on either side of the technology, helping with troubleshooting when we're working through new features and bugs and things like that, and have helped keep us up to date on what they're implementing. And yes, it's great to be familiar with the technology, like the landscape of technology within DLT in general, but much more specifically, it's great to know more about Hedera's kind of experiments that are coming out of testnet and new features to keep our eye on to implement and continue to deliver value for our audience and producers and the NFT community. Yeah.
It looks like the testnet is booming. There's all kinds of transactions going on there right now. So we're excited to see what they're actually testing.
Yeah, for sure.
So how can viewers participate?
You can go to thirdact.digital right now, and I guess it depends if you're a collector or a creator or a producer. I'm going to speak more to the collecting community. You can go to thirdact.digital. We're live and operational. We have minted using the HTS. We're using HIP-18 tokens. We're so proud to be one of the first that are using these custom fees that came with HIP-18.
Yeah.
You can go on, create an account, and start trading and collecting today from any one of these collections that I had mentioned earlier. A great part about some of the utility of this this platform is that part of our royalties and the fees go back to the productions themselves, go back to the producers who put on these shows. And I think there's a really clear link between these NFTs and what it means to hold on to them so early when the industry is in the state that it is, the theater industry. Obviously pretty disrupted by the pandemic, to say the least, and still is trying to find its footing to see how it exists in this new reality we're living in. So every time you buy, a portion goes back to those shows and helps them put on more shows and ultimately make more NFTs and, you know, foster a really rich community around these stories that are too great to kind of stay contained within the stage.
Sure, and that's another important thing about the efficiency of Hedera. You know, it's important to have the stewardship of the environment. There's no question about that. But also, it allows you to keep more of that revenue for the creators of the NFTs and do great things like you're talking about here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the industry of theater is generally overlooked for in media, and I think that it's generally a laggard in technology adopting it. We're only starting to see the theater industry really adopt streaming kind of last year, and it took a pandemic to really take it seriously. So what we want to do now is create a really great marketplace, a great platform that is ready for theater in the next maybe 6 months, when there's going to be a lot of self-education that goes on and a lot of raising of awareness within NFTs to become that premium destination or premier destination for NFTs in theater.
Well, you're certainly on the bleeding edge of technology right now. So good stuff going to Hedera. Eric, thanks so much for coming. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to pass on?
No, I would say to anybody looking for a new collection, there is a lot of utility that you should consider within Third Act. We have a really ambitious roadmap we're going to be publishing in the next few weeks. And everything that you buy on there now will have more utility later than sometimes what is even listed on the site. So lots to look forward to.